Ugh.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is going to be a really quick video.
Good, because the longer you talk, the dumber you tend to get.
I'm so sick and tired of watching atheists and listening to atheists talk about how atheism is the default position. No, it's not. And it's a very stupid thing to say that it's the default position because none of us were born with a God belief.
Yeah, it is. Atheism is the lack of a belief in a god and or gods. That's it. When you're born, you aren't yet able to form an opinion or identify with a belief system. You lack the ability to believe. So, yeah, technically you're born an atheist. An infant lacks a belief in God because they can't yet form an opinion on one. Now, admittedly, this is a bit of a technicality. The infant in question wouldn't even know what atheism is to begin with, and I wouldn't consider infants and small children atheists in the conventional sense anyway, because they didn't come to that conclusion on their own. But still, you weren't born with a belief in a god either, and since the technical definition of atheism is a lack of a belief, to be without belief, technically, it's the default position.
When you're born, your brain is not fully developed. Your brain doesn't fully develop till you're about, in your late 20s, 26, 28 years old. I don't remember exactly the exact age from off the top of my head, but it's your late 20s, I believe. So if you want to sit over here and say that atheism is the preset or default position because of a lack of a fully developed brain, well, go ahead, have at it. But I think it's a very stupid thing to say. There is no default position. We all make decisions based, on our lives, what we learn throughout our lives, and make our decisions and our choices based on that. Some things have convinced us. Some things have pushed us in one way or the other way. So don't sit over here and say, well, it's some sort of default position or anything like that.
Unfortunately, you're still just arguing against a technicality, and that's ultimately where this position falls apart. The criteria for atheism, as I said before, is a lack of a belief. Whatever the circumstances are that make someone lack that belief are kind of secondary in this context. When it comes to atheism, you either are or you aren't an atheist. Either you lack a belief or you don't. End of story. Now, I'm going to throw True a bone and play devil's advocate. While atheism is definitely the default position, that doesn't really mean much. The beliefs or views of a person really only carry the weight of how they were formed, and I think true empiricism sort of makes a good point in saying that our experiences dictate how we come to form those beliefs. When a person has the ability to form their beliefs rationally and based on something substantial like evidence, whether they choose to or not, then we should approach it with open criticism. But you certainly don't need to be in your late 20s to be able to get that far.
There's a reason why people abandon beliefs like Santa Claus when they were children, and as they grow up and their brain becomes fully developed and they learn things over the course of their lifetime, they start to believe in things like a god.
Yes, grow up to replace your old fairy tales with new ones. Damn it, True. Right after I compliment you on making a semi-decent point, you give me that tripe. Jesus. So, yes, kiddies, atheism is the default position, and arguing over it is pretty moot. It matters less that a person has a position than it does why they have that position. Example, I hold my position as an atheist due to the mountains of evidence that discredit the existence of God and the validity of the Bible. True holds his position because he's an idiot.